Hi, today is November 16th, 2025. This is my very wrinkled Letterkenny t-shirt, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1778 for the year, When a Cloud. When a cloud seems impossibly bright, and you wonder how there could be such light, or when a kitten seems impossibly cute, or you hear an impossibly beautiful flute, remember that it's not just the world that's so great, it's your ability to place yourself in this wondrous state. When we become jaded like we've seen it all before, that's when life can seem barely worth living anymore. So move out of the cynical darkness and into the hopeful light, and gaze transfixed and wondrous when a cloud seems impossibly bright. Poem number 1779, When a Crowd. When a crowd descends and one feels enveloped and capable of being led astray, driven off a cliff, convinced to betray one's honor, still knowing one's truth but being afraid to say, that's when the best thing you can do is separate yourself from the throng. There is much wisdom inside of you when you abandon the desperate need to belong. Poem number 1780, When MacLeod. When MacLeod came on, I was disappointed because I generally preferred Columbo. Truth be told, I preferred Macmillan and Wife to MacLeod, too. I'm not trying to throw shade at Dennis Weaver, but I think he'd be the first to admit that he was no Peter Falk, that he was no Rock Hudson, that he was no Susan St. James. So, yeah, when MacLeod came on, I was disappointed, but I still watched it, of course. This was the early 70s. Options were extremely limited. Poem number 1781. Speaking of Rock Hudson, who played Macmillan in Macmillan and Wife, maybe one day they'll bring back that show and call it Macmillan and Husband. The show could have a tragic undercurrent like Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. It could take place in the early 80s. At the beginning of the series, Macmillan could be diagnosed with AIDS. Each season, we would see Macmillan's condition deteriorating, and his husband could support him until he dies. Then the husband could take over solving the crimes in a show called Husband. I know what you're saying. There was no marriage equality in the 80s, so it could be an alternative universe. Why the fuck not? They do that shit on Star Trek all the time. Poem number 1782, When a Clown. When a clown knocks on your door and you ask who it is and you just hear a honk, you can assume that it is in fact a clown and not Pete Seeger or Dave Van Runk. But when a clown knocks on your door and you ask who it is and he says Oscar Brand, invite him in. He can jam with Pete and Dave, and make sure you shake him firmly by the hand. Poem number 1783, When a Frown. When a frown becomes your umbrella, you will probably still get wet, but that would also be the case if a smile was your umbrella, or a grimace, or a hamburglar. When it's raining, it is really best if an umbrella is your umbrella. I'm not always right about things, but I think I'm right about this. And the last poem of the day, poem number 1784, When a Hound. When a hound is howling at your door all night and you can't take it anymore, it's still not all right to throw a shoe. The hound is only doing what hounds do. Instead, you could invite the hound in, and if she's looking cold and thin, offer her leftovers, give her some lovin', let her sleep overnight near the oven. When the hound was howling, it was annoying as all fuck, but when the hound is gone again, that is going to suck. Yes, when the hound is gone again, that's going to suck. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.